Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and I'm so excited to have a cosmic conversation with my friend and collaborator, the brilliant Tiffany Harelik. You're looking beautiful today, Tiffany, on this Taurus full moon. So, why don't you introduce yourself to anyone who doesn't know you?
I'm Tiffany Harelik. I have the Wise Skies calendar. And so I write a digital astrology calendar, and I have for about a decade. I started studying astrology back in 2000. My first teacher was a Taurus, speaking of the Taurus moon. And I fell in love with astrology back then. It helped me sink into my bones. I got a master's degree in health psychology. I wanted to study psychology from a different angle. Astrology fits with that desire to know the search for life, the meaning for life, and the search for what makes each person special and unique. I practice in Abilene, Texas. I'm a beekeeper. I have a background doing live music events and publishing, and I've got Sag rising. Love to be at the party early and stay late. Scorpio, sun and moon, and I'm so happy to be here with you today, Celeste.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. And Tiffany is a true Renaissance woman. She does so many different things and a demonstration of Mars out of bounds. She just, I'm always amazed by how much Tiffany does. How long ago did you start your honey making company?
Well, I've been keeping bees, or they've been keeping me, as the beekeepers say, since 2019. So I've been keeping bees alive for about 6 years, but I really pivoted into a business just in January, February of 2025.
It's
Yeah.
incredible as the South Node is going through her 10th house. She's let go of parts of her career and brought in different ones. And how perfect. Bees are a Virgo topic that you are making. You're doing bees right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Before we jump in, we're going to talk a little bit about 2026. 2026 is a big year. Just give some highlights now. Tiffany, myself, and Sarah El Harar are going to have a deep dive into 2026 on Tuesday, November 11th at 2 p.m. The 2026 predictions panel. There's a link in the notes here for you to join. So you could join us for this interactive discussion. If you can't make it live, you will get the recording. But we just wanted to give a few highlights of what we're most looking forward to and talk about the calendar that Tiffany makes and I collaborate with her on. So, Tiffany, what's favorite transit you're looking for? And
Oh
any
my gosh. There's so much to pinpoint, right? Of course, we're all excited about Saturn Neptune conjunction in February. I think that is going to be this new space, a new frontier of walking into the wilderness, walking into the desert. And with that one, I really liken that this whole idea of walking into the wilderness of 2026. Those are the places where we have the most need and depth of connection with a sense of our creator, with a sense of a higher power, when it's just you and nothing else. It's like this fresh 0 point Aries, zero starting point. I've been thinking about that one in terms of the bees a lot, because what the bees will do when it's time to divide their colony, half of them will swarm and go out into a new place where there's no home. There may not be food sources yet, and they're going to rebuild with seemingly nothing. And so what they have is just today. The bees are constantly teaching this present moment, be here now. I'm looking at that Saturn Neptune like that. I'm also really excited about Jupiter moving into Leo, and of course the nodes changing signs. We could go into any of those. What are you thinking about? What are you excited
say a
about?
few words about Jupiter and Leo?
Me?
What excites
Okay.
you about that?
I think it's going to be very interesting to watch, because the South Node will also be moving into Leo. And I think we will have news around the royal lineage. I think we will have a shift in celebrities, a shift in the everyday person becoming popular. The South Node usually ends things or completes things or integrates things. And so with Jupiter, like when you open the door and Jupiter's standing on the other side, this is the king, this is the philosopher, this is the world traveler, this is the one that expands your knowledge and your ideas and you want to talk to and you just can't get enough of. They make things bigger and bigger, Cheshire cat feeling and beautiful and exciting, right? And then it steps into the lion, the sign of let me hear you roar. And so I think that there's going to be some big personalities coming into focus and the end of some big personalities that we have been paying attention to for a long time, given the South Node's movement. Jupiter in Cancer has been wonderful for many reasons that we predicted last year. I just have my eye on that one. It's an intuitive hunch.
Yes, absolutely. The South Node is a drain. It pulls things out and turns things inside out. And Leo is the sign of royalty, the celebrity, the special one. I'm looking forward to that transit because it's going through my second house. Seeing this about an increase in personal feelings of self worth
Mhm.
as well as income. Now, that South Node,
But this happens through my 10th house right now. You would have thought I would have been just in the sign that rules bees. You would have thought this was like the wrong move to make. So you never know. I think that the South Node going through your second house can just be plugging up your money drains, plugging up the things that maybe you were spending in areas that weren't in alignment with some of your life goals. I would just activate it in the way that you want it activated.
yes, I'm thinking about this for me. I have my own little astrology empire. I have someone who produces my podcast and someone who is a mentee and does administrative work for me. This is me paying out money to these people and it helps them with their families and lives. So that's what I've started thinking about. As I rise up, I can maybe make a bigger
Impact.
network of people who help me grow my business and I pay them. And I've had someone helping me with some of my products. So I'll look at it like that. The money's
Yes.
going out, but it invests, it grows my personal business.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, the transits, I am a moon girl. I am sun in Taurus, moon in Aries, and a Cancer rising. So my Aries moon in my 10th house rules my whole chart as a Cancer rising. I am most looking forward to seeing what comes to life at the eclipses. On February 17th, there will be the first in 9 years, but 18 years since the North Node was a solar North Node solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius, 28 Aquarius on February 17th. So you can look at your chart and see where that is. For me, it's in my eighth house, squaring by Neptune in my fifth house. So uh, that's tough. Eighth house, new start at eighth house a little bit because the eighth house is the house of deep psychological processes. And there's some loss and things involved, but I'm going to hope positive things also will come of this.
It feels
It's
like a creative cycle for you. You know what I mean? How we create from a sense of grief or a sense of ecstasy, right? It just feels like that juicy place of creation that comes out of the dark and into the light.
yeah. And see how it shows up in the collective because Uranus is squaring this. It's Uranus from my 11th house. So there's this tension about what am I creating for my community? I really feel called to be putting out tools to help people take, because this time can be really overwhelming. There's so much change. 2025 is a year of the nine, a year of endings. And then 2026 is a year of the beginnings. Moving from the omega to the alpha could be a little unstable.
Wilderness.
Huh?
The wilderness as well.
Wilderness. Yes. I already have the proper care in feeding up your moon course. I'm adding some other things to help people use our internal tools as we walk through the wilderness to feel more grounded, to understand the cycles. Aquarius is a sign of groups and organizations and people. Maybe I'll start a community. I've been thinking about that for years. We'll see if I can make the bandwidth for that as well.
And the North Node will move into Aquarius as well. So that would be perfect time.
Maybe that I'll do that next summer when the North Node moves into Aquarius. I'm holding the light and holding the vision that people and community are coming together in order to make positive changes, help each other, and like less reliance on external factors that as hopefully the government will be back online by then in the United States. It could even be like a general strike if things aren't going well, that people feel like they're not being treated fairly. Yeah.
One thing we're promised is that kingdoms will rise and fall and political figures will rise and fall. To me, this Saturn Neptune conjunction represents, what are you looking beyond the physical? What are you looking at in the metaphysical that gets you grounded and gives you a sense of hope? Because if all we do is look at the rise and the fall of all of these empires and kingdoms and arguments, that is going to create more and more chaos. Gong crash is going to get louder and louder. So it's just a big old test in your own meditation to look beyond and to have faith in something beyond just this world. The eclipse you're talking about in 28 Aquarius, the Sabian symbol is a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. I think there's going to be a great awakening period where it's almost like you felt like you've been living with a veil over your eyes, and all of a sudden you can see. And what you can see, it's almost like watching The Wizard of Oz for the first time, and it goes from black and white to color. It's like, wow, there's a lot more there than I realized. So I think there will be some spiritual gifts awakening, some spiritual sight awakening. That's something I think to look forward to. Where's Taurus in your chart?
11th house.
Chiron is moving into Taurus in
Yes.
2026. And I think that's going to be welcome for all of the people with Chiron and Aries are going to be glad for it to just keep on trucking. It moved into Aries in 2018, and Chiron was last in Taurus 1976 to 1983, give or take with some of the retrograde cycles. But that will be happening in June, right around the time that Jupiter moves into Leo. So I think that 2026 is really going to heat up in the summer.
Maybe I'll start my community when Chiron goes into Taurus.
Taurus, yeah, exactly. That would your healing community. That would be perfect for your chart.
Oh, healing a community. That's just co-creation. Even just talking to other people, you get ideas about what you want to bring forth. A goal for everyone could be, how can you feel more connected to your local community in person, not just online? I think we're really seeing this. People going to protests, people voting, people doing all these things, people in line at food banks, coming together, talking to each other, learning more. I saw this beautiful thing since we're on the Taurus full moon today. Taurus are resources. And there's this trend on TikTok where people are showing their food pantries that they've created at their homes and put outside to help their neighbors who are either furloughed from their jobs, rely on SNAP benefits because of hard financial times, or what have you, or don't have a job. It's beautiful. There was this one guy who created one, and someone slipped him $1,000 under his door, purchased more food for the pantry, and thanked him for being such a beautiful human being. That just warmed my heart. I'm feeling, as Mars moved into Sagittarius yesterday, I am feeling more hopeful for the future than I have in a long time. Yeah, this optimistic uplift, even though we're going through hard times. It's the birth canal. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
That's right.
Tiffany creates the Wise Skies calendar, and this is a resource that I love and rely on. I'm an affiliate for, and every year I offer my community a $10 discount. The code is ABC 2026. So, Tiffany, why don't you talk a little bit about the calendar and let's show people how it works and how they can have the benefits of tracking and having this in the palm of your hand.
Okay, I love it. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the calendar?
Yes.
All right, guys. Today we are on the Taurus full moon. The calendar comes in 3 files: moon phases, moon void of course, and planetary files. I'm just going to layer them on one at a time. When you download the calendar, it can go into any device. It travels with you through any time zone. It doesn't matter what calendar system you're using. I happen to be a Google Calendar person, so I'm showing you on Google Calendar, but you can use it on any device for your digital calendar. So when you put the planetary aspects in, you can see I have the little emojis to help you at a glance. Is this a sunshiny moment or is this an umbrella moment? And maybe I can make some adjustments based on that. What you need to know really is that these aspects are the moment that the aspect is releasing. So the aspects are going to build in intensity and then release on this moment, right? So today or tomorrow, we've got Mars sextile Pluto and Venus moving into Scorpio. If you click on it, you can see that I've given you a description of my interpretation of it. It's a good way to learn astrology, even if you disagree, because you can start to understand what you think about what is Mars sextile Pluto. For me, the first thing I said was positive change, energy, forward momentum, right? Something that's unique to my calendar system is that I add the fixed star nuance. In this example, Pluto is in 1 degree of Aquarius. And so this is going to activate these 3 fixed stars. And so that can add some complexity and some nuance to how you might be experiencing this Mars Pluto sextile. These are all of the planets. You'll see the increase. Mars just moved into Sagittarius. There's what I think about that. Venus is moving into Scorpio, enter the mystery, and it tells you how long she'll be there. It tells you the retrogrades as well. Uranus is about to retrograde, backing up into Taurus. Change before you have to. One of my favorite quotes in astrology. That is just the planets, right? Then we could add the moon phases on. And the moon phases show us when the moon is going to enter the next sign. Today, we have a full moon. I love this because it's a resource for me. I listed the entire moon family story. Right now, we're on a full moon, which relates back to a cycle that started in May of 2024. I've included the Sabian symbol. I've included what the themes of the sign is for that moon. And I've included just ways to personalize it, right? Ways to personalize this cycle. So if you are beginner, medium, advanced astrologer, this should suit every level of astrology enthusiast. The last calendar is the moon void of course calendar. The moon goes void of course before it enters the next sign. It's not making aspects to any other planets before it enters the next sign. Usually it's a period where you feel a little bit nebulous, like a mini retrograde little feeling out there. But I really want to thank Jody Forrest for suggesting that we go ahead and put in the last aspect the moon makes before going void, because it flavors that void of course period, a tone, a flavor, a whiff of something else. And some of them are really good and easy.
The cycle from when the moon enters that sign. The last
Thank you.
aspect really gives a note about it.
Yes. So I have included those in each of these. These are some pretty short void of course periods, but there's a longer one. The void of course periods can take up more space on your calendar. The way that we have designed the calendar, it doesn't block your calendar as busy. You're still free. So if you have synced your calendar with a booking system or software, just because this entire period is blocked, it appears that way to me only. So you don't have to do anything with your settings. That's just how it is. But yeah, you can click on it and see what I thought about this one. Moon squares Jupiter. I like to see what past Tiffany thought about what's going on currently because I write these a year in advance. So there's Kazimis. There are numerology hits on the first of the month. I have the numerology, what's going on. Looking ahead, December is a 3-month and a 9-year for 2025. And I give you some ideas about my interpretation of that as well. What else? What am I missing?
I think this is great. And one of the things I love is that every year Tiffany adds something new to the calendar. The moon phase families was 1 year. The Sabian symbols was another year. And now void of the last aspect the moon makes before it goes void, of course. Another beautiful thing with Tiffany's Virgo midheaven, look at the details. No other astrology calendar is giving you this depth of detail about each transit and with useful, practical information that you can use to expand your life. I want to go on vacation. You look at the date you want to leave and you say, uh-oh, Mars is square Saturn. I don't want to have a terrible time. So you flex and adjust and like, oh, look at this Venus trine Jupiter. This is going to be the best vacation of our lives. Let us go that time. It gives you the information you need to make decision about timing of things you want to do. And yeah, and you don't want to start a project with a void of course moon. So you see it's void, and that tells you that you need to think about something more before you start this, because that's an indication like nothing will really happen with it. If you started in a void, that can help to go back to your drawing table. Mercury's going to be retrograde. Oh, let's not go car shopping. We want to think about this. Tells us we need to do more research and review and rethinking before we make decision. All of these wonderful things are what you can use this calendar for. Absolutely. And there's a
So
link in the bio. And just tell people the website.
it's wiseskiescalendar.com.
Yes. And you use
Yep.
ABC 2026 for $10 off.
Here we go. We go to wiseskiescalendar.com. You can go right on the homepage, right? And it'll take you there. Or you can go play with the calendar page and learn more and read about the gift of good timing, letting the universe have your back, see what's all included. Once you click on that link, you add promotion code and apply it, and you will get Celeste discount. So we hope that you guys enjoy it. You mentioned retrograde, and I just want to point out that if this is Saturn retrograde, the little R in parentheses tells you that this Saturn is retrograde. I made it more pronounced in 2026. You'll be able to see that. And you'll also be able to, it's like these transits, if they occur more than once, I list all of the dates right there. But if you're having a notable moment in your life, it's interesting to connect the dots back. So let's say November 17th is very notable for you for some reason. Well, what was going on earlier in July 24th? Is there a theme? Is there a pattern? Is there something in the metaphysical that's trying to get your attention in your narrative, in your story?
Oh my God, Tiffany, this is something you added new about the other times the sun was tried Saturn?
No, well, I mean, I don't think it's new.
Oh,
Like this, for example, this Mercury is going to be in a lot, right? It's going to be in different signs, but I've listed all of the dates and signs so that you can go back and connect the dot. Or let's say you're a writer and you really want, like, a Mercury Cazimi would be an awesome time to just have some quiet to write. You could schedule a little writer's retreat on these dates, knowing that there's going to be a different flavor with each one. But, there's just so many ways that you can use the calendar.
and I
Yeah.
love that you have links to resources to take things further if you want to. This
Mhm.
is such an amazing tool. There's nothing like it. I
Thank-
really recommend it, and
oh,
it's so helpful.
Yeah. It is a labor of love. I start writing it in May, June, and then I take a breather and I go back in. Once I get the data done, I send it to a colleague who turns it into the proper files that can be used in any device. This guy has been working with me for several years, and he's a monk. I think people find that really fascinating. So not only am I spending the time putting it into it, but I'm also praying over the calendar, and he is in a blessed space when he's working on the calendar. We just give it the best juju possible so that when you all use it, you're enjoying it and using it to your benefit to enhance your life, not to control or manipulate things, but to understand the cosmic weather and the cosmic forecast. People, I think, like that tidbit.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for talking about this, Tiffany, on this beautiful Taurus moon.
Yeah.
Tiffany's the sun in Scorpio. I'm representing the moon in Taurus. I'm a Taurus sun. On the access of pleasure powered resources, the Wise Skies digital astrology calendar is a wonderful resource to have you have more pleasure in 2026 and feel more empowered. There's links in the description for ordering it, as well as joining Tiffany, myself, and Sarah Harar on November 11th for our 2026 forecast. If you miss it live, you can get the recording to help you navigate the energies of 2026 like a boss. Take care.
Thanks, Les.